Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. I'm Andrew, and with me, back in his lovely attire here on Red Friday without any red, Mr. Dale Baker. How are you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Big Friday night lights tonight, so gotta support those hounds. Maryville Spoof Hounds. Here we go.
All right. Well, hopefully they can pull off a victory and keep moving through the playoffs there for you. So, all right. Hey, but in this episode, we're going to be looking at the Chiefs matchup against the Broncos, diving into a few questions, even like, has the Chiefs defense been exposed? Can Deandre
Ooh,
Hopkins repeat his performance in at least in the uh, category of effectiveness? So all that and more coming up. So come hang out with us.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions.
How about those Chiefs?
All right, Dale. So first question we got to talk about is some questions leading up to the game we have to know. So has the Chiefs defense been exposed? I mean, think
no.
about what happened though. I mean, Tampa Bay without
Yeah,
Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin, they just moved up and down the field. I mean,
yeah.
especially that last drive. I mean, they were just doing whatever they wanted to and getting it done, and probably should have gone for two to win. But all glad they didn't.
Well, I think they would probably have done what happened to the Bengals last night. Go for two and then lose and have no chance to win the game. But what I think was this is a classic overlook. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You just mentioned missing Mike Evans, missing Chris Godwin. I mean, two staples. You think like, okay, we're going to be able to slow these guys down, and they just kind of overlooked, which is weird because it's a Monday night game and it's everyone's watching, and so I think they just thought they could come out there and just roll the ball out and score, and stop people from scoring. But hey, credit Baker Mayfield. I know he's not our favorite person in the world, but man, that guy is a franchise quarterback, and he is tough. He is one tough guy, and just a ball player. Now he's a little arrogant, a little cocky for my liking, but he's still just you can see. I just have a great respect for him in his play. Not so much on the microphone or his antics on the field, but he can for sure throw that ball.
Hey, I'll tell you this though. Baker Mayfield has been playing lights out all year long, and not only that, he seems to have matured a bit this year compared to when he was in Cleveland. So, I mean, keeping his composure a lot more. I mean, throwing your head back when you lose the overtime coin toss, though. I mean, you can't do that. I mean,
well, I think he knew. He knew.
He might, but think about this: as a franchise quarterback, you want to get the message to your defense. Oh, you can't win now.
Right.
That's the message you give them when you do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can say what you want about it.
That's true. See, that's the antics. That's the antics I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that's a lot calmer than what it used to be. But there's still some there too. So I mean, you can't do that no matter what. And this isn't a podcast to recap the Buccaneers.
No. Yeah, sorry. I know I missed last podcast. I'll try not to bring up old stuff. Let's just keep moving to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question real quick. Who do you loathe more, the Raiders or the Broncos?
I know history should say I hate loathe the Raiders more. But man, I really don't like the Broncos at all.
Oh yeah.
They're the team that I despise the most, for sure.
There you go.
I think maybe it's because there's more Broncos fans that I know versus Raiders fans, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I love that the undefeated streak of Mahomes was against the Broncos up until last year.
Yeah,
he's still 12-1 against them, so I mean that's pretty good.
That's all right. We'll take that.
Yeah, but I'd for sure rather lose to the Raiders than the Broncos.
Oh wow. Okay, all right.
Although I'd rather not lose to either one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you think about it, we grew up in the 90s. The Raiders were really not that good during the 90s and early 2000s and mid 2000s and late I mean, I guess they had that run with Rich Gannon. But other than that, they have not that good. I think we remember the John Elway days, the Peyton Manning days. What was his name? Kyle Orton would roast us. And Jake the Snake Plumber. I mean, just a lot of hurt.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kyle Orton had much success against the Chiefs because didn't he come in right after Peyton Manning? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So Kyle Orton has 0 wins against the Chiefs because that Peyton Manning game was where the streak started.
And we knocked Peyton Manning out the rest of the season, the regular season, that one game. I think did he have 5 picks?
Oh,
Was it something crazy?
Oh yeah,
anyway.
It was because that was the game that Peyton Manning also set the NFL record for the most passing yards by a quarterback, which I think has since been broken by Drew Brees, but at the time set the record. He only needed like 13, 20 yards, something like that to break the record. So everybody knew he was going to get it. I think his final line on the day was something like 35 passing yards, 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. And then Kyle Orton comes in and throws another interception.
Yeah.
So it was a great day for a Chiefs fan.
Yes,
one of my favorite Chiefs versus Broncos games of all time, just because of all eyes were on this game because of the record going to be set, and he got like 35 passing yards or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was great. So, but I will say this. The Chiefs defense, I don't know that it has been exposed any more than it already was, because most of these teams who are beating us and torching us are, again, using the tight end to do it.
Yes.
And that's been the thing that's been our downfall from game 1 this year.
Right.
So I don't know if that's really a game plan to show that we're exposed, other than just expose a weakness that everybody already knows about.
I don't want to
if you have a good tight end, you can probably expose and get some good plays, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and I don't want to dislocate our shoulders here, but and pat ourselves on the back. But I would say that we've been saying that since week 2?
Yeah,
week 3 at least. I mean, that was the one concern, is that the tight ends have been. I mean, I think it was the Cincinnati Bengals game, which would have been week 2. I mean, they just torched us on the inside and in the middle of the field, and so I think we have to, and I think Spags we trust, man. He just keeps getting better and better. He'll figure out some way, somehow, to slow these tight ends down.
Do you still think he can?
Yeah.
I mean, we're 8-9 weeks in, and he still hasn't.
Well,
and you've been saying all year he's going to get better, and last week might have been one of the best weeks for a tight end against the Chiefs. So,
hey, they overlooked.
All right,
he can only set up the game plan. Spags isn't suiting up, putting on pads out there and flying around. He said the game plan. The boys have to go out there and execute.
So. I'm not blaming Spags for it. But Joshua Williams and that rookie, I forget his name, number 30, Roland something.
Yes.
But those two guys they're very inconsistent at best.
Yes.
And because they're inconsistent, teams are taking advantage of those inconsistencies and saying, "Oh, you can't beat us? Good.
Yeah.
We'll just keep pounding it away." And it's not a good look for the Chiefs, and they're just those two guys are. I'm not saying that they're a hindrance, but they're not holding on the fort like.
No, it's the hole. It's the hole in the defense. It's the hole in the defense. Do you think that is it Najee Johnson? Is that his name?
Yeah.
You think he's better than those two? I know he was in concussion protocol, and I don't think he passed his concussion test, and so he didn't play the other night. But do you think he's a little more consistent?
I think he's about the same level. This is his first full year. I mean, last year he was a rookie, didn't even play, got hurt in the preseason.
Yeah, this is his rookie year. By all means, this is his rookie year.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say that I think he's better than any of these other ones. I think he's equal.
Yeah.
I think of those 3, Joshua Williams is the best one as of now. So
Joshua Williams. Oh, yeah.
They have a lot of hope in Najee Johnson, though, and so they're expecting big things. So hopefully he'll improve and become better. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed wasn't the player he is now his rookie year. So all these guys can improve, and that's what we're hoping for. So we'll see what happens and all that.
One last thing that's been bothering me.
All right, let's hear it. Get it off your chest. This is the place for it. I am a certified counselor, so
I know that you have you always have a good, well thought answers. So you just brought up that Najee Johnson. He got hurt in the preseason. Do you think that first year should not be counted, and this year would be his rookie year? But I know it's contractually, it's not, because I always think like Mahomes. Mahomes, he played a throwaway game against the Denver Broncos. They had locked up their seeding. They weren't going to get any better over it. So I always thought Mahomes plays this game, but it doesn't really affect anything. So, his second year should be really his rookie year. Or am I crazy?
Are you saying as far as stats go?
Yeah, as his stats go.
Depends on if you play or not.
Okay, so he did play. So he did play. So
I mean, I understand what you're saying because it'd make Mahomes look even better. I mean, it would because you're saying instead if you did this in 7 years, you did all this in 6 years.
Yeah.
And so it'd make him the best. I mean, he's already the best, but it'd make
Oh
him
yeah. He
even
like
more the best.
yeah. He hasn't. No one in sports history has had a run like him in any sport the first 7 years of their existence.
Yeah, and he did it without basically playing his rookie year, where guys like Josh Allen were playing their rookie
Yeah.
year. So,
Right.
so he didn't set any rookie records because he was sitting the bench. But the flip side, don't you think that it was better for him to sit and learn rather than jump right in?
Oh yeah. No, I don't think he would be the quarterback he is if he didn't sit. I think you got to learn from Alex Smith. I remember hearing the story when Alex Smith got traded to the Washington Commanders. I think it was the Washington football team still at that time. But I know his mom told Pat, get on that phone and call Alex and thank him because of all the, just invest in. So the Chiefs fan, Chiefs Kingdom owes a lot to Alex Smith. Shout out Alex Smith, man.
Hey, yes, Patrick Mahomes, he always gives credit back to Alex Smith.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, I think that is important too. I think every NFL quarterback, especially as a rookie, should sit out for a year. I know in some situations, maybe it's not plausible. Maybe you just trade away all your assets just to draft this quarterback, and you're like, well, we don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
And so there's circumstances where you can't. But man, look at Bryce Young last year.
Oh man,
year. I mean, he's got torch, and it's not.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because he's that bad. He just had no help around him. He had no idea what he's doing. He's trying to learn how to play in the NFL, and then trying to learn how to play in the NFL and be a starter as a rookie quarterback. The face of your team. That's a hard task to ask anyone.
It is.
Let alone a rookie who's never even played in the NFL. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. So, but we're playing against a rookie quarterback this upcoming Sunday too.
All right. Yes.
So,
what a great transition, man. You're a professional.
Hey,
you're killing it.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got.
I know. I just get us off topic all the time. So yeah.
No, you're good. But hey, Bo Nix, right? So Bo Nix comes out of out of Oregon, right? And so
Oregon, yes.
Yeah, and so he comes into the Broncos team. The Broncos trade away Russell Wilson and keep all of his cap space and his money there in Denver. But they trade him away, say, we don't want you anymore, don't need you anymore. Thank you for your service. Although I don't know if they said thank you. They just say, get out of here.
Yeah.
And they bring in Bo Nix. And so Sean Payton, their second years as the the coach for the Denver Broncos. And now he has this rookie quarterback. And everybody seems to say that this is the kind of quarterback with a skill set that Sean Payton loves and likes.
Right. Yeah, I think the one thing about Bo Nix is you can tell he's getting better and better each game. And so that's not good news for the AFC West. So, but you're always happy for the kid that, he kind of bounced around there with Auburn and then went to Oregon and, went pretty far there. And so I think he has the most career games in college. So this guy's ready to play. And he is, he's athletic. I mean, I think that's the one. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson fast or Josh Allen big, but he's a big athletic guy that I think sometimes the Chiefs in the past have had problems holding those good QBs in check.
Yeah, for sure. And, so he started out the year in his first few games watching. I was like, oh, this guy is not ready to play. The Broncos are going to be lucky to win 2 games all year long. Right. But to his credit, he's gotten better. Sean Payton's probably taken him under his wing a lot and said, hey, let me help you. Let me teach you how to do this. Right. And so they've done all that they need to do to get him ready. And he is, to their credit, played much, much better than I originally thought that he was going to.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this real quick. Do you think the Broncos are regretting letting go of Russell Wilson considering the way he's been playing with the Steelers?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think they should, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, he is playing. They got that Steelers team rolling right now. I mean, number one.
Mike Tomlin is a great coach, and I think it just shows you with good coaching what that can make a difference in any player's career, including guys like Russell who've been in the league for a long time anyways.
Yeah.
You would think that he'd just go into a system and just plug right in because he's been there, done that.
Yeah.
But you get a quarterback in a system and try to use him in a way that's not to his strength, or just say, you're going to do what I want you to do. You're not going to get good results out of that.
Right.
And that's what makes Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin, some of these coaches, so great, is that they see these guys say, okay, what is your strength? How can I use it?
Right.
And how can I hide, or at least put to the side a little bit, your weaknesses and not expose them to other teams as much? So,
yeah, what is it?
The Denver Broncos, I mean, look at this. This is their depth chart for quarterback, okay?
Okay.
Jarek Stidham. Remember, he had a little stint there with the Raiders even.
Yeah.
And then third string quarterback is Zach Wilson.
All right, Zach Wilson.
I mean, and Zach Wilson is one of those players, talking about quarterbacks, who kind of got an unfair shake coming into the NFL. Again, thrown right into the starting lineup with the Jets, a dumpster fire of an organization in a city like New York, who just pounds their players, and the media comes after you. That is a hard situation for anyone to come into. So, and I'm not saying that Zach Wilson is a fantastic quarterback, but he's probably better than he ever got credit for.
Yeah. I think situations matter. The coaching matters. The players around you matter, especially for these rookie quarterbacks. I mean, you don't have to coddle them, but you almost have to set them up to be in the right situation. And so we were fortunate to get Patrick Mahomes, and he was set up in the right situation. The best coach in the league, maybe in NFL history, one could argue. And then the GM, Brett Veach, and just the players around, Travis Kelce being there, and Chris Jones. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look a little bit more into this Chiefs and Broncos game coming up here. Right. And so Deandre Hopkins has a breakout game last week against the Bucks. I think he went 7 for 8, if I remember right, maybe 8 for 9, for 80-some yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, and he had a crazy over-the-shoulder catch between 2 defenders with a third one closing in on him. I mean, that was stuff that we used to see Patrick Mahomes do with Tyreek Hill. Just like, oh, he's down there somewhere.
He's down there
throw
somewhere.
It up. And Tyreek Hill come down with it. And he's starting to do some of that now with DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I will say, before you get too excited, or anybody gets too excited, DeAndre Hopkins is not the breakaway speed kind of player.
No.
He's not going to take the top off the defense and just blow past them. He is a sure hands, big physical receiver is what he is. And so we should not expect him to necessarily just blow by anyone. Not saying he's not good, that he can't beat anybody, but just don't expect his speed to be the thing that sets him apart.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the new Chiefs' identity, is just hold on to the ball, and we're gonna beat you with 1,000 cuts. Yep. We're just gonna walk down this field, hold on to the ball. We're gonna run 3.5 yards a play. We're gonna throw it just far enough to get first downs. But I think there was some explosiveness there in that game where you saw Xavier Worthy get open, just can't stay in bounds. But
Xavier Worthy, I don't even talk about him having an explosive game. He did nothing.
Well, I said he could have. He should have.
Yeah, should have. Yeah, and you know what? Zach Wilson should have been a great quarterback too.
There you go.
I mean, you can say that about any player.
I know.
We draft that player first round. I mean, Todd Blackledge, right?
Oh,
should have been a great player.
Should have been.
I mean, the Chiefs drafted him over Dan Marino. Should have been a great player.
Situations.
Okay.
Situations are situational.
I'm not saying that Xavier Worthy's not going to be something, but he did not have a good game.
No, I didn't say he did.
Yeah, you're trying to say he should have, as if.
I was saying the explosive play should be there. They can't still be there. Okay. We've seen flashes of it. We just, because Xavier Worthy doesn't know where the out of bounds is at, we did not get those explosive plays. And so, and I think that explosive play
know how not to run backwards. Yeah.
Right.
All those things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All those things. So, the Broncos defense, what do you think of their defense?
Well, let me finish this up first. DeAndre Hopkins. So,
yes.
Can he have a repeat performance? And I'm not saying necessarily even this week, but just this year, can he have the impact that he just did? I mean, maybe the Buccaneers just like, well, everybody's talking about how he was washed, right? How oh, he's not good. He can't do these things anymore.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins just showed everybody, hey, I'm still here. I'm still the guy. I can still do it. And so, so can he have a repeat performance? I'm not saying 2 touchdowns every game.
Right.
But can he have the same amount of impact like he did in the game against the Buccaneers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Especially in this offense, especially with Travis Kelce still in the field and McCole Hardman and Xavier Worthy. I think there's enough weapons on that field that you still have to respect Xavier Worthy's speed. You still have to respect McCole Hardman's jet sweep. You still have to respect Travis Kelce catching 14 passes in the middle of the field. And just, you just have to respect that. So he's going to get a lot of single coverage still at times. And I think that was a great example on the goal line where he's going to win those short yardage, right? Mahomes is accurate enough to put it in a spot where he's going to be the only one to catch it and get those slants. I mean, those slant. Well, you knew. I mean, I knew that's what they were going to do when it was just one-on-one up there at top, and that linebacker was slow. So getting there, and it was perfect.
Well, I do have to correct you on one thing. You don't have to respect the jet sweep by McCole Hardman anymore.
Oh,
that sucker's done. I mean, they've done that so often for so long since Tyreek Hill was there. The teams are ready for it all the time now.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it will never.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it will never work, but it's not one of those plays that's just going to take a defense by surprise anymore. Everybody's ready for the Chiefs to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But the Broncos have one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Right.
One of the best defenses the Chiefs have gotten up against even.
Yeah.
They actually have one of the best cover rates against tight ends this year. So against any amongst all the teams. So the Denver Broncos defense definitely has on paper the advantage over everything the Chiefs offense does.
Right.
Whether it's passing, running, whatever, the Chiefs offense has the disadvantage against the Broncos defense. So how's this going to work out with the Chiefs offense going against such an elite defense?
Yeah, I think they have some players. They have some guys on that team. Patrick Surtain is a great corner. And so, I just think and we're just going to have to grind. I think we're just going to have to grind, find ways, whether it's trick plays, whether it's, just doing different things, or Travis Kelce catching 14 passes. He usually has good games against the Denver Broncos. And so, I think the defense is scary. This is a nerve-wracking game to come in because it's a divisional game. Number one, we always talk about divisional games and how tough they are to be played because you know each other so well. So I'm sure they were in preseason or in training camp talking about the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs, and okay, what do we got to do to beat these teams? Because the best way to the playoffs is win your division. And so how do we do that? So, I definitely think the Chargers will be up for this game, especially being, what are they, 5-2, 5-3?
The Broncos?
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I think they're 5-3, but
5-3,
5-4,
5-4. Okay. Yeah. I definitely think there's some scary guys on that team, and so they're just going to be smart with the ball.
Yep. I mean, the plus side is the Chiefs have not lost to the Broncos at home in Patrick Mahomes' career. They lost on the road last year.
Knocking on wood.
I know. Here you go. There you go. Knock on wood. So, the Chiefs, it's going to be a tough matchup. Anytime you play against a division, it doesn't matter what the records are. You could be 12-0, and the other team could be 0-12. Right. And if you're playing each other, that's going to be a tough game because you play each other so often, twice a year, every year, that they know you. They know your tendencies. They know what you like to do. They know what you don't like to do. And yes, you change things up every year, try to throw them off, but at the same time, you know what your strength is, and they know what your strength is. And so those games are always going to be tough every single time. And so, but with that being said, Andy Reid is fantastic against the AFC West. Since coming to be the Chiefs head coach, he is 53-15 against the AFC West. So that is the highest winning percentage by any head coach with their team against their own division since 1970.
Whoa.
So this is a stat that goes back a long way. So this also includes somebody who's had a minimum of 30 games.
Okay.
So if you've only been there for half a season, it doesn't matter, right? So that basically means you would have had to have been the coach for that team for at least 5 years. So basically, you've been a coach with that team for at least 5 years. Andy Reid has the best winning percentage against their own division since 1970.
Wow.
So in the last
I wonder
50 years.
I wonder what the Patriots record is in their division with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick?
Good question.
But I
Don't
mean,
know.
maybe we'll look it up. Maybe I'll look it up later and figure out. But yeah, I would think their division was garbage. But obviously, they probably lost more. The winning percentage is probably the big factor there.
So do you think that losing to the Broncos last year is going to give them a little bit more motivation this year, or is it just one of those things that happens and they're moving on?
I think I think it happens. They're moving on. I think their motivation is being 8-0, and they're going to be 9-0. I think that's the motivation. I think that's the motivating factor for the Kansas City Chiefs, because now they're running on this run and like, oh, okay, we're halfway through the season, almost halfway. We can get this done.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, I think that'd be the motivation.
Well, the other side,
and being an Arrowhead. Not ever losing to the Broncos. They know that. I mean, the players know that. They've never lost to the Broncos at home, so they know that.
Since Patrick Mahomes, let's be clear.
Okay, yeah, since Pat.
Yeah. So, but the other thing about the Broncos defense is they have one of the lowest missed tackle teams of the entire league. So, they only missed 12% of their tackles this season. And so they've only allowed 376 yards after missed tackles for 9 games now that they've played. So that's an incredible rate. So it's the 7th lowest rate in the NFL. But they also have they have the highest blitzing rate in the league this year. So they blitz on 43% of the play. So I mean, that is high. And normally I'd say, man, that's great news for the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes this year against the blitz has not been as crisp as he usually has been.
Yeah.
Not to say that he is not, so that player still can't be there, but that's just something to watch out for is Patrick Mahomes' play against the blitz this year. But the other side is, I don't know that he had many people he really trusted against the blitz. And now we have DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce. Because, when they're blitzing, they're just going to double Travis real quick because, that's where he wants to go. And now, I don't know that you can double both DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce. If you do, guess what? Your box is light, and guess what the Chiefs are going to do? They're going to run it down your throat.
Yeah, exactly. So and I mean, like, I always forget Justin Watson because he's just like so quiet, so like, but he has big catches all the time in games. And so like even him, if he can get open, like their third or fourth corner or nickel is on them, like he can get open and get, and Pat trusts him. I mean, he's throwing them balls. He knows he's going to catch. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what do the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
Man, they have to win the turnover battle or not turn it over. Right.
Yeah.
And then I would say they have to contain Bo Nix.
Yeah. Well, and they have to be, because this Broncos defense is so good. They can't. They got to be able to move the football down the field. I know that seems like simple, but because of how you kind of alluded to it earlier, the Chiefs this year are not the high explosive offensive team. Like the team that, played on that Monday night game several years ago against the Rams that ended up 51-54.
Yeah.
That's not the offense we have this year. They're not that they don't have the ability to, but for the most part, they don't have the explosive plays anymore. They are one of the worst teams in the NFL when it comes to explosive plays.
Yeah.
But they also have one of the highest efficiency teams in the NFL because they just slowly and methodically move down the field. Yeah. And so they're only going to get the possess the ball a handful of times every game. They're not going to get 8 or 9 possessions like other teams do. They might only get 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they have to take advantage of those drives when they get them. And so if you don't move the ball down the field and have to punt twice in a half, you might only get 1 score per half.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to be able to put some points on the board. I know this seems really simple. Like, put points on the board. That's how you win.
Yeah. That's how you win.
Like,
More points than the other team. Right. Yeah.
That's right. And I'm not trying to be that person, but I'm just saying because you get so few drives and because it's such a good defense, you have to be able to methodically move the ball down the field. And so even though Travis Kelce, since he's one that's the tight end where the Broncos have such a good defense grade against tight ends, DeAndre Hopkins and somebody else has got to step up.
Yeah,
that's the key to win.
There you go.
You have to step up. They're great against the run as well. The Broncos are, and so the thing that's going to help the Chiefs out the most is getting somebody with DeAndre Hopkins this step. It could be a Justin Watson. It could be a Noah Gray. It could be Xavier Worthy. Maybe he finally learns to catch the ball and stay inbounds. Who knows? Yes, I'm.
So you don't count Kareem Hunt having a big game as like stepping up, or do you just like take him for granted that he's going to get 70 something yards and like?
I'm not taking that for granted. I'm just saying that if that's what you're going to rely on, if you're only relying on one aspect, that defense is going to stop you because it's so good.
Yeah.
You have to be
let me tell you.
You have to be able to beat him in multiple aspects.
Yeah, let me tell you. Your guy, who you have the most respect for, Trey Smith. I mean, you love this guy. You love him. They just need to pull that guard every other play and let him just run people over.
Let him eat. Let him eat.
Because that guy loves hitting people. And I just saw that the other night. I was like, where has this been all year? Like, pull him and let him just run people over. And then, man, that was some of our best runs with Kareem was just running behind Trey Smith. I think they did it a couple times. And so, let's just do that a couple more times. And that was really, really good. So
and let's hope that Andy Reid doesn't have to go to the offensive line this game at halftime and say, "Hey, I'm relying on you guys. I need you to play better."
Right.
Let's just play like that from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
First half, the offensive line, even the interior, was not good against the Bucs, and they stepped it up. So hopefully they can keep that up. So, how about this? Let's get to some of the lines. For the betting lines. Not that we're encouraging betting once again.
Well. Just past Missouri.
That's right. So just a fun little exercise for us to see what we think is going to happen. So right now the Chiefs are favored by 7.5 points. So including the points, who are you taking in this game? The Chiefs or the Broncos?
I'm taking the Broncos.
All right.
7.5.
No, we know what you think now.
Yeah, well, no, 7.5 is too much for the Chiefs. I don't think. When's the last time they've blown a team out? I mean, I can't.
Been a minute. Probably the Saints. That's the last time.
Yeah, probably the Saints. So I just don't think
probably the Bears last year. So
so I just don't think they blow teams out. That's not who they are, and so they're going to keep it close and just methodically run. So I mean, they could be 6 or it could be 7, but I don't think it's going to be more than 7. They're going to win.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Chiefs, that when it comes to those lines and the spreads, the Chiefs are not good at covering the spread. Even if they win the games, they're not good at covering the spread. And so for that same reason, I'm also going to take the Broncos with the points there.
Yeah,
and say that. So what about this? Patrick Mahomes, 233.5 passing yards.
I'm taking the under.
The under. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the over.
Okay. All right.
I think that it's very possible he won't get the over, but I'm banking on DeAndre Hopkins and some of these other guys stepping up.
All right. I'm glad to hear you're on the D-Hop train, man. I've been trying to get you on board. I saved you a seat. I'm glad you're on it.
Hey, appreciate it. It's nice and warm too. So I like it.
I got you a hot chocolate right here.
Oh man.
Hey, it's enjoy the ride, bud. Enjoy the ride.
Let's be clear. I've never been against DeAndre Hopkins. I just thought they wouldn't be able to afford him. And
I just thought you were a little skeptical.
I was
a little skeptical at his age.
Yeah. I was skeptical that they'd be able to trade for him. Not him as a player.
All right.
Let's be clear. I was not against the trade. I just didn't think they'd be able to trade for him.
That is true. I guess I should take that back. We should clarify that point.
That's right. Don't try to say like I'm a Hopkins hater over here. Never such thing. All right. Bo Nix, 1.5 touchdown passes.
Under.
All right. Under. Honestly, I struggle with this because they gave up 2 or 3 last week against Baker Mayfield. But
I think there's a gap between. There's a gap between Mayfield and Nix.
Yeah, I would say, but I think Mayfield is a much better. I'm going to take the under as well on that one.
Yeah, but if he runs one in, I can see Bo Nix passing one in, running one in. But you said pass.
This is just passing.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll go first on this one. Hopkins. The line I think is kind of low, 50.5 yards. I think he's going to get over that.
Yeah. I'll go over on that as well. He'll go well over. So he's looking to him. That was clear. I mean, what'd you say? 9 targets last week, and so he's definitely looking towards
9
him.
targets, 8 catches, and the one miss that they had was when they were just on the wrong page. There in the fourth quarter, Patrick thought he was going to stop. DeAndre Hopkins just cut in front of the defender, and didn't
Yeah.
work out. So,
And that's their only second game together. So that'll get figured out.
oh yeah,
They'll figure that out. I'm sure they talked about
absolutely.
that on the sideline after. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, yeah. So
Yeah. All right. Last one. Kareem Hunt, 70.5 rushing yards.
this is a hard one.
Or sorry, 71.5.
This is a hard one. Because I think we have to have Kareem Hunt eat to win.
All right.
Ooh. I'm going to say under, though.
Under. All right. So let's just see real quick. So far this year, I'm trying to see his average here. So his average is probably somewhere around, well, probably right around where they have him at.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
His low for the year is 59 rushing yards.
Right. I'd be happy with that.
So you're going under. I'll take the over just to be different.
All right. There you go. I like it.
I think either one could be close. All right. Score predictions. What I got Chiefs 27. I don't think they're going to get 30 again. I think it's too good of a defense. I even thought about going with a lower score, but
yeah.
I think that with DeAndre Hopkins, they're figuring out some of those things on offense.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be explosive, but they're going to put up some points. So Chiefs 27, Broncos 20.
All right. I'm saying Broncos 17, Chiefs 24.
All right. We'll see where we end up then. 24-17. All right. Last thing for you. AFC power rankings for the week.
Oh, yes. Come on. Let me hear them. I would be interested to hear this. These.
I know. There's been a few changes, but not too much. So number one, actually, let's start with 5. We'll work our way up to 1.
We all know number 1.
You should. I mean, you're right. So number 5, the Texans are holding on to the number 5.
Wow. Okay. Barely. I'm shocked.
You're shocked that they made the top 5? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got to get some eventually.
All right.
But when there's, like I said before, the AFC is so full of people that you could throw in there. I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll give you this. The other one that I thought about putting at number 5 was the Chargers.
Yep.
I consider putting them, but I thought
their division rival.
Yeah, their division rival. The other side is the Texans have been falling off a little bit as of late. And the Chargers have been looking a lot better, but the Chargers still have a lot of holes too, and they don't quite look all there either. So, anyways, for now, Texans number 5. Number 4, the Steelers moving into the top 5.
There you go. All right.
With Russell Wilson, as they say, he's cooking, right? And
let him cook.
He is cooking in there and doing very, very well in that. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. I still think that they're a little fool's gold, but you can only play who's in front of you, and they've lost every good team they played. But as of now, they still have a great record, so we'll see what that ends up being next week as they face off against the Chiefs. Number 2, the Ravens just pulled out a fantastic game against the Bengals last night, where the Bengals went for 2 to take the lead instead of the tie and end up biting them, and Ravens come out on top there. And number 1, your Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right.
They are the reigning Super Bowl champs, and until you beat them, you can't knock them off. I mean,
that's right.
You can say what you want to say. Well, they just keep winning close games. They keep doing this, doing that. They keep getting the refs. You can say what you want. They're still 8-0.
8-0.
And like I've said before, and I'll pound this drum again, good teams find ways to win close games.
Yep.
It's just the truth. So that's your top 5 for this week. Any you agree or disagree with?
Yeah, I think the Texans, but I mean, we talked about that. Where do you have the Bengals at? Where are they at on that?
I probably put them right around 7 right now.
Yeah.
So pretty close to where they're at. I think they're 8th is what we talked about before, but I have them. They just got to pull out some more wins. They're just they're too inconsistent.
It's going to be tough because the Steelers are playing good. And so I think they'll beat the Browns. But other than that, to be 3rd in your division,
we'll see. All right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a comment, share with your friends, all those great things.